Hey fangirls and boys, this is Natalie and you're watching Whole Lotta Love, and today is my Sephora VIB sale haul. So I picked up about 8 items from the Sephora VIB sale. I'm a VIB Rouge, so it started for me on August 19th, and I did 2 separate shoppings for the haul. One I did in store, and while I was there I swatched a couple of things, and then I ordered a couple of things that I swatched and a couple of other things in a second order that I placed on Sephora.com. So I got 4 items in store and 4 items online, and it's like Saturday now. The sale started on Monday and I have everything, and I've tried most of the things, so this isn't going to be like a first impressions where I'm first looking at the products. This is more of like a mini review kind of haul. So if you are interested in seeing what I got and interested in seeing my thoughts on some of the products, if you are interested in seeing that, then keep on watching. So the first and only skincare item I got was the Fresh Sugar Strawberry Exfoliating Face Wash. So this is a new product apparently, and I usually use the Tata Harper, I believe it's the Regenerating Cleanser. So that's like a daily physical exfoliating cleanser. So it has like the little granules in it, and it's something that's soft enough that you can use for every day. It's really, really nice. I know you're not supposed to over exfoliate, especially with like a physical exfoliator, but I definitely prefer a physical exfoliator to a chemical one. I feel like it's less abrasive, and I feel like it feels really good. Like as you're washing your face using a physical exfoliator, you really kind of feel your skin, like you feel those dead cells coming off and you feel refreshed, and you kind of get like that instant result. And I feel like it is ultimately less irritating. Of course, there are certain physical exfoliators that you shouldn't use every day. Some of them have like those granules that are really, really, you know, like a little bit bigger and a little bit more coarse, like the St. Ives one comes to mind. You can't really use that every day because it is like more of an intense, deep physical exfoliant. So I do prefer things like this that are a little bit softer on the skin, something that you can use every day. And this Fresh one is one that you're supposed to be able to use every day. It says it on the back. So I will say I've been using this for about 3 or 4 days now, and I really, really like it. So it's a sugar scrub. I'll take a little bit out on my hand here. You can kind of see what it looks like there. It's like a little bit of a gel. That's what it looks like, kind of like, you know, as you're rubbing it out. Compared to the Tata Harper one, I find that it is a little bit more intense for sure, and I could see where if I keep using it every day, it might irritate my skin, but so far I'm really liking it, using it every day. If it does irritate my skin, I think I will just switch to every other day, but I really like it. I feel like it really buffs out the skin. It actually gets in a little bit deeper than the Tata Harper one, but I do find that my skin feels really buffed and really smooth and really beautiful after using it. And it is less expensive than the Tata Harper one. This one was $33, and I think it has more product than the Tata Harper one. It's really nice so far. And the scent of this one is really, really good, of the Fresh one. It's like that very sugary with like that strawberry scent to it. It's like one of those scents that when you first smell it, you're almost taken aback because it's like a little bit strong and overpowering, but it's like one of those smells that you really grow to love. So I'm really enjoying this. I think it's gonna be a hit. The next item I got here is the Benefit Boi-ing Cakeless Concealer. So Benefit, you know, they got me. I'm a sucker. I am definitely a sucker for like kitschy packaging. You'll see that in one other product. This one has like this little eraser top for the lid, which is like super duper cute. And I was kind of excited. I know Benefit has done the Boi-ing line before, but this is actually a new product for Benefit. I think a lot of people would agree with me that Benefit has been really super unoriginal with their products, and to come out with another concealer when they have a bunch is, again, a little bit unoriginal, a little bit lame, but this one looks really nice. Like they didn't have a liquid concealer in their line before. And this is what it looks like once you open it up. So it has kind of like a medium-sized doe foot. It's not like the Shape Tape that's as huge, but it's a little bit bigger than your standard doe foot. It has like a little like divot in it, and I'll swatch it out. I got the shade number 1, which was like the cool tone, like fair neutral kind of shade. So that's what that looks like swatched out on my hand. And I'm wearing it under my eyes right now, and I think it's really nice. It's very liquidy, so it kind of like glides on really nicely under the eye, and I find that the coverage is really, really nice. So so far I don't really see any caking, any creasing. Like it doesn't really have that like crepey heavy look under my eyes. And you know, I am 36 years old, so I'm not like, I don't have like that perfect teen, early 20s kind of skin. Like I am starting to show age, and certain products will kind of age my skin unnecessarily. So I like to use like a lighter coverage foundation, things that are a little bit more dewy, lighter concealers, but I do still like to use a lot of concealer because I like to clean up my eyeliner, or my eyeshadow rather. I still like to do like the triangle under the eye of concealer. So I want something that's, it does have that coverage, but is also not something that's going to look really heavy and age me under the eyes. And I feel like I'll have to report back and take a good look after a few hours of wear, but this, even when I swatched it in store, I felt like this looks really nice, highly pigmented, smooth formula, and I'm happy with it so far. And I feel like the shade is maybe a touch pinker, but fairly similar to my Urban Decay Naked Skins concealer in Fair Neutral, which is like my holy grail amazing concealer. So the shade is pretty decent, and pink is nice and brightening for the under eye anyway, so it's a little more pink. It doesn't really bother me, and I think the formula is nice. It's a little bit higher coverage than the Naked Skin one. It's a little bit different, but I think it's going to be a winner. I'm positive. I'm going to think positively on this one. So I'm happy with this one. I'm happy to see Benefit kind of bringing out something new. I hope that they can do that with more color products. So the next kitschy product you'll see that I bought here is the IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout, and it says powered by Drybar. So I don't know if this is like a collaboration with Drybar, which is a little bit odd to me, but of course I'm a sucker for this packaging. It looks like a little like curling iron blow dryer type of thing. It's like really cool packaging, and it kind of comes up like this. So the wand itself is pretty sleek. You're not like, this part of it isn't what you're using to, this is more like the bottle of it. You're not using this to do the mascara thing. So I think it's still practical, even though it's just like a cute packaging. So I'm really digging this. So I have like a pencil eraser with the Benefit, and this little fake hair dryer type of thing. So of course I had to go for it. But another reason I bought this is because I am a huge fan of the Superhero Mascara by IT Cosmetics. I think that mascara is, in terms of giving you a false lash effect, in terms of really amping up the length and the volume of lashes, I think that mascara is number one. I don't really use lashes too often, so I really need that boost. So I can tell you, and I've tried so many mascaras, I feel like that mascara is really like the best of the best to really intensify your lashes. The only thing about that one that I don't love is that it's very a very inky formula. It's very hard to take off. There's just like a lot of product that sticks onto your eyes with that one. It's almost like a semi-waterproof formula, even though it's not technically waterproof. But again, it's a beautiful formula, and it's kind of a little bit of a clumpy thing. So if you don't necessarily like that, you might not love that one. But this one, on the other hand, so I was doing my makeup, and I've been using the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara, which I really enjoyed. I kind of just went on autopilot and started to put that on my upper lash lines. I had wanted to use this one exclusively to show you, but unfortunately I had gone with the Too Faced. What I did was I ended up cocktailing this one, so I put this one, the IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout, I ended up putting this one over top. So what I will say about it on the top lash, I can't tell you exactly how it looks on its own in the top lash, like what it does in terms of volumizing, but from what I can see over the Too Faced one, it looks very, it looks nice. It looks like it's lengthening for sure the lashes a little bit more, and it separated them really, really nicely. So the Too Faced definitely is a clumpier looking mascara, more on the volume side. It does help with length too, because it's just a super intense mascara, but it definitely clumps the lashes up. This one nicely separated them out. I think that's why they called it Lash Blowout, because it kind of gives that nice doll lash separated look. And I'll put the picture of the superhero one. I couldn't find my superhero, but I'll put that on the screen and compare it for you. But the wands on the superhero and this one are pretty different. So this is what this wand looks like. It's not a teeny tiny wand, but it's a smaller wand. It's definitely not one of those big ass like the Too Faced one. It's definitely not one of those big huge wands, and The It one isn't big either, but this one's still smaller than that one. And the shape is definitely different. This one's like a little more rounded and straight. So this isn't one of those like super intense wands. I think it's nice and petite, which I like. And I did use it on my lower lashes, and I think it looks really, really nice on the lower lashes. Again, it looks really separated, and it did add that length and a little bit of volume thickness there. So I think this is gonna be, again, a winner. I'll kind of either in my description box or on the screen kind of put up like my follow-up notes as I wear it on its own and how it, you know, where it washes off and things like that. Kind of let you guys know, but so far I'm liking this one. I think this one's for like a doll lash effect, more on the lengthening side than the volumizing. I don't think it's lacking in the volumizing side, but again, this is more for like lengthening and separating. It's not for a clumpy, heavy, voluminous look. So I'm excited to play with this one a little bit more. So the next product I have here, and I actually scoped this one out, which is really lame. Again, I don't need any more makeup at all, so it's like, it's not even something that I was dying to have. But I was like, I need to get another eyeshadow palette, of course. Like, I love eyeshadow palettes, and it just like, I feel like it really would round out my Sephora haul very nicely. So I was kind of looking at some of the palettes that I didn't have yet, that I kind of wanted, or something that was interesting to me. And this one came up on the new ones, and at first when I saw this, you know, sneak peeked, I wasn't really interested, but then I kind of saw it on Sephora. This is the Violet Voss Coral Crush palette. So I saw it, I was looking, you know, like there's the Manny MUA one, the Strawberry Dreams one that came out, and you know, a couple of other palettes that kind of, you know, I could kind of be down for, that were, you know, that have just come out. But for some reason, this is the one that I was really, really into. So Violet Voss launched this palette with a rainbow palette. I think that one's called like the Vibes palette or something to that effect. I wasn't too interested in that one because I do have a lot of rainbow palettes, as we all do at this point. I think the market's very saturated with them, which I don't mind. I love tons of color on my lids, but I do have other colorful palettes by Violet Voss as well. They had like a rainbow palette that was more like shimmery and more like a rainbow gradient that they put out like 2 years ago. I have that one. And some of those mini ones that they came out with were pretty colorful. So I felt like that one was a little generic. That's the one that caught my eye at first. So this one I totally hadn't noticed. But then when I was looking at the new page on Sephora scoping out a palette, I was like, wait a second. So this is what it looks like inside. So the reason why I chose this one over like the Manny MUA or any other palette was because I felt like this one really commits to the coral theme. So I know that Natasha Denona came out with like a 5-pan coral palette, but that one like kind of just had hints of coral. It wasn't really like a true coral palette, which I thought was kind of lame. But this palette really freaking goes there. And you know, I think just kind of looking at this, you know, we've seen so many warm tones over the years, 35O craze from Morphe and like all of that stuff. Like this doesn't seem as exciting, especially because they launched the rainbow palette at the same time. You're kind of focused on that. But I think that this is a little bit of a sly release, similar to the Lime Crime Venus Vivids, because this palette really goes there with the corals. Like, I'm trying to think, you know, maybe again, I'll kind of circle back. Actually, I think Huda Beauty had one of the 9 pans that was coral, but the quality was a little bit iffy on that one. That was only 9 shadows, but I don't see too many palettes that are like true coral scheme. You get like a more orange, warm tones, berries, different things like that, reds, but like a true coral is, you know, it's not done too often with, you know, every eyeshadow committing to it. So I think that this palette is really pretty, and in person it's really pretty as well. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I will say that the quality of this one's really nice. So this is some of the swatches of some of the shades in the palette. What I will say about Violet Voss is I would recommend this brand of eyeshadows for a beginner, 100%. If you're a beginner in eyeshadow, go with Violet Voss, because I'll tell you why. Because their shadows they're pigmented, as you can see on my lids, but they're not the highest level of pigment. They're like a really mid-tone pigment. You have to build them up, and they're not very powdery in the pen. You don't get a lot of kick up, so you're not going to have like that messiness, you know, fall out on your face and stuff like that. They're easy to control, they're easy to build up, and they're very smooth. They blend out very easily. So yes, it's a lighter pigmentation, but it still can be built up, and the blendability is there, the quality is there. So I would definitely recommend these for a beginner and anyone who's kind of maybe tried Violet Voss or kind of heard that they're not as pigmented or whatever, maybe not as good as some of the other brands. I would beg to disagree because it's just a different type of formula than we've been used to in the market lately. It's kind of like bridges the gap between like the way formulas of eyeshadow used to be a little bit more sheer, a little bit more harder pressed, and the ones we have now that are super pigmented, you know, super loosely packed in the pan. Like this is kind of in the middle, and I feel like this is a really nice brand for beginners. It's a really nice brand if you like sheer washes of color, if you like to build things up. I think that this is definitely a good formula for that. And yeah, I really like these. And the shimmers in the palette are similar. I'll just swatch a couple more of the shimmers. So you see those right there. The shimmers in this palette are pretty similar to what Violet Voss has done in the past. They're kind of like that dimethicone foil, but they're, you know, they're fairly smooth. They're like very creamy, and they, you know, they deliver nicely on the eye. It's not a super like loosely chunky look. At least I think the pressing that they do with their shadows is very, very nice. But yes, these are like a standard dimethicone foil, but they work really well. I'm wearing one in my inner corner, and it was, you know, pretty easy to work with. And the last thing I'll say about this palette, I'm super happy with the way that they've listed the font that they've used to like list the shade names on this palette. It looks a lot nicer. Like it's kind of like this nicer font. It's a lot less private label looking and than what they've done in the past. I feel like there's something a little bit like kitschy and a little bit tacky about Violet Voss. They haven't necessarily really gone there with their packaging, but I think the way they've done these fonts is really nice. It's unique and it looks different from what they've done in the past. It looks a lot nicer. So I'm happy to see that they're kind of stepping it up a little bit. Even something as simple as that gives it like a very different touch. So I would definitely recommend this palette. So let's talk foundations. So there's been so many crazy foundation launches lately, and I'm a sucker for all of them, which is ridiculous because I could use my Maybelline Dream BB cream and nothing else for the rest of my life and I'd be happy. That's an incredible face product. I love like lighter coverage, things that don't age me, things like that. So that's my preferred thing, but for some reason, you know, I'm getting all these foundations. I feel like foundation formulas have really been stepped up this year. Like the new foundations that they're coming out with aren't what we've seen before. They're really a lot of nice dewier formulas. The Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay is not dewy, it's more matte, but it's like a highly pigmented kind of hybrid formula that we haven't really seen before. I think that these new foundations are truly nicer, innovative formulas. So in that line, I had to get this. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. So this is $68 originally. With the 20% off, it came out to about like $54, $55, somewhere in there. So I think that was a pretty good discount. So I definitely had to jump on it, and I had to get it in store because my shade wasn't online. I was like, I'm not gonna miss out. And when I was in store, I literally got the last shade in my tone, and I think it's a perfect match for me. So I have Light 7, that's my shade in this. I'm not wearing it today, I'm wearing another foundation that I bought that we will talk about, but I have tried this already. I posted a picture on Instagram wearing it. I'll put it on the screen now. I absolutely love how my skin looks in that picture. I didn't like airbrush my skin at all in that picture or anything. So this foundation, I'll kind of swatch it out. I'll show you the bottle also. So this is what the bottle looks like. It has like that kind of the cloudy glass looking bottle and like kind of like a black and gold lid. So this is what the foundation looks like. I'll swatch it out on my hand. So I don't know, like I didn't put that much, but it's kind of already starting to drip. So you can see it's like a very liquidy foundation. So I'll swatch it out like that. So you can see it definitely has like a dewiness to it. It is very liquidy and it's dewy, but it's really easy to apply. So I applied it with my Juno Beauty sponge, and I just put this product on the sponge and blended it out, dab, 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 blend it out. It wasn't like the Urban Decay where it's like this heavy pigment where it's like you really have to work the blend. Like that looks pretty once you work the blend, but you have to really get that pigment fairly distributed. This one is a lighter pigment, but it's still similarly liquidy. But when you blend it out, it's just, since it has like, it's not as high of a coverage, it just blends out really seamlessly. And it's dewy, but it doesn't have like that gel-like tacky dewiness that some of the more luminous foundations have. And what I saw, it looked absolutely beautiful. It just gave a nice luminosity to skin, super easy to blend out, probably the quickest I've ever blended out a foundation. It looks like natural, dewy, healthy skin. Just stunning. Like I wasn't, like I really tried to talk myself out of getting that foundation because I'm like, you don't really even like foundations that much. You prefer BB creams, and it's $68. It's a liquidy foundation. Like I kind of watched the videos. I knew like what the kind of formula was going to be like, you know, from hearing about it. I'm like, it's probably going to suck. You're not going to like it that much for it to be worth that price tag. But I definitely, once I put it on, I'm like, holy shit, like this is, I think this is worth the full price tag. Of course I'm happy I got it on sale, but I can see why it's priced that high, because it's stunning. It looks like skin. It's so lightweight. It's so easy to blend out. Very beautiful. So, you know, again, I'll kind of make a note if I, you know, if I change my mind, but I think this is a hit. I think I would definitely recommend this one. So the next product that I got here, and this I got online in Sephora. I had wanted this, but I kind of forgot about it, but they had it like, you know, in a little like kiosk area as you're getting online to kind of get you to buy stuff. They're like, oh, these like little small cheap things, which, you know, they're all like full price. They're not really that cheap, but they're all small. So that's how they get you. But I had wanted this anyway, so I was really excited that they had it. These are the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Liquid Eyeshadows. It's a duo of minis. So these are what they look like. And she had launched these liquid eyeshadows in full size, not these shades, but she has more like champagne-y, bronzy, like a purple kind of shade with those. So she didn't launch, like these are more like really cool tone, like a cool tone silvery one and a cool tone or like a black one with like some silvery glitter in it. So I'm gonna swatch these. I haven't tried these yet, so we'll check these out together. I'll show you the little doe foot thing. This is like super mini. This was only $25 for the two of them. I think like one of the full sizes like around that amount, could be even more. So I don't think you're getting a lot of product. I probably used half the container already just swatching this out, but like it's a little teeny tiny flat curved doe foot thing. Pretty cute. So this is the silver one. I don't know if they have separate names to them. Yeah, so this silver one's called Disco, and that's what this one looks like swatched here. So that's just like a pure silvery, chromy, really like, you know, reflective, sparkly kind of thing going on. That seems really nice and really promising. It seems like a little bit of a liquidy formula where you can kind of just like spread it on and it'll set really quickly, not get goopy and be hard to blend out with whatever eyeshadow you're working with. I think it would work well with powder eyeshadows because it seems like it's drying down really quickly and it's very like liquidy. So kind of just blend it out and be done with it. And this one, the black one, is called Space. So that's Space right over there. So that's really pretty. So yeah, again, that's kind of like that oil slick looking like black with like silver and some like other little different color iridescent glitters in it. Very sophisticated, very nice, especially the black one. The silver one looked a little bit more sheer where you kind of have to build it up, but that black one looks like a one swipe deal. And I'm hoping that she comes out with like more fun colors because these seem like a little bit more refined, a little bit like thinner and just kind of a little bit nicer than like the Stila Glitter and Glows, which I think that those are okay. They're not like my holy grail anything because I definitely prefer like powder eyeshadows and, you know, certain kinds of pigments and things like that to liquid eyeshadows, but I'm definitely really excited to play with these. These seem really promising and I definitely dig these colors for the mini one that she came out with. I'm hoping she does more fun colors like this in the full line eventually, but just more like true colors. Like I'd like to see like a blue one and like a red one, you know, green, all that good stuff. So the next product that I got is the second foundation that I bought in the haul, and I am wearing this foundation right now. This is the I Had to Do It. I swatched this one in store when I was looking at the Pat McGrath one. When I bought the Pat McGrath one, I swatched this one. I was like, oh, we'll see how it is. But like when I swatched it, it seemed like super nice, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta get this one too, even though I have the Anastasia one and the Urban Decay one and the Pat McGrath. But this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear Foundation. So yeah, I'm in the shade 150. I think that's a pretty good shade match. I think with this foundation, the matte one that she had first come out with, I had that one in 140 and I thought that was a really good match too. I got this one because it's like a little bit more neutral. That was a little bit more warm. I'm not really typically warm, but I think that there's so many shades, you know, with like that are so slightly different that like you can kind of work with like there are probably a couple of shades in that range that would work for you, which is kind of nice. So it's kind of hard to mess up picking out your perfect shade because even if you don't get it quite perfect, you'll get something that you can still work with. But I think so far this foundation is really, really beautiful. So you can kind of see it swatched out over here. I did like a light swatch. So this is a truly dewy foundation. So the other one that she first came out with was super duper matte, and that one looked, I felt like, really cakey in certain lighting on me. Like it looked really nice in some lighting, and other lighting it really aged me and looked really bad. But this one, I think that this looks absolutely beautiful. It is very dewy. It's kind of in line with the Anastasia Luminous foundation, but so far I think I like this one a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more lightweight. That one felt like it definitely had like a little bit of a heaviness to it, even though it didn't have a super high coverage. It had a little bit of heaviness where it like really settled in my smile lines, just had like a little bit of a cakier look, like not extreme, and it still had that beautiful dewy finish. But I think this one has like the same really highly dewy finish, but it's a little bit like of a lighter formula, so it looks a little more youthful on my skin, I feel like. So we'll see how it goes again, but I think I prefer this one to the Anastasia, and I like the shade that I picked out a little bit better. The Anastasia one, I think I went a touch too light, but again, I can work with these things with different blushes and bronzers and stuff like that. I don't usually get too picky about my foundation unless it's like too dark or like too orange, or way too light. But if it's like a shade lighter, I can usually work with it. I'm okay with that, because I can darken it up with like, you know, my other face products and stuff like that, and they typically oxidize darker. So, but I am very happy with the Fenty one. I think it's definitely hit again like the Pat McGrath, but even more so, this one has a little bit of that viscosity to it. So it kind of has like that little bit of like jelly feeling where it's like kind of like will like suction to your skin and stick to your skin a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's going to slide around. It just looks like a very smooth, seamless finish. Both of those foundations I'm much more impressed by than I expected to be. So I'm very excited about that. And this one's only $35, but I think it's a very good price. I think the other, like the Urban Decay and the Anastasia, are definitely more expensive than this one. And I think this one's probably my favorite out of those. And the last product that I have is the Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter. So I picked up one of these. I swatched this in store and I absolutely had to have it. This is in the shade Lit. Even when I saw these online before I went in store, I thought they looked really cool because they have this really cool embossing on them that says like Flex in there. You can see that there. But when I swatched this in store, I was like, yes, I need that. And this is the highlighter that I'm wearing on my face right now. So this is what it looks like swatched out. So you can see it's like really reflective, very smooth looking. They have like different types of shades. Like some of the shades in the range are a little bit more glittery. I want to pick up at least one or two more shades of this. I really like this, but it's like very finely milled, very reflective, but it does have like that little bit of shimmeriness to it. It's still popping. It's not super subtle. It still has like a little bit of that blinding, shimmery glitteriness, and some of the other shades are more glittery. This one's a little bit more smooth, but I just love the tone of this one so much. It's like that champagne-y, slightly rosy, taupey color. So I thought it'd be I wasn't sure if it would be right for my skin tone, but I think it looks really nice. I think it definitely lifts my cheeks and whatnot. So I'm definitely happy with this, and I definitely would recommend looking at some of the other shades. I think there's some that are more sparkly that I'm gonna get. There's one that's more sparkly, but I think it's a little bit deeper, so I'll have to see how that one goes. And I know there's one that's more like yellow toned. I definitely want to get that one. So I think that this is a hit, and I'm very happy to have tried this. So yeah, that completes this haul. Let me know if you guys got anything in the VIB sale, what you're excited about having gotten a discount on. It was kind of sprung it on us. I think they're doing them more often lately, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. I think it's a good thing mostly because, you know, we're all going to buy this stuff anyway, and the prices are outrageous. So it's nice that they the 20% definitely helps. So I'm definitely happy with the stuff I got, and I'm happy with my savings. That completes this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have a good one. Bye guys.